The Patrick Mahomes era gets underway for the Kansas City Chiefs. The former Texas Tech Red Raider gets handed the controls of what could potentially be the most explosive offense in the NFL. But what about the defense? And are we expecting too much from a first-year starter in Mahomes? Maybe, but regardless of the legitimate questions about the Kansas City Chiefs 2018 season, we can all agree that this team will be must-see TV this upcoming year.
Let's take a look at some of the key storylines heading into the season as we go into our 4-minute offense. It's now the Patrick Mahomes show in Kansas City. The second-year pro inherits the starting job after longtime starting QB Alex Smith was traded in the offseason to the Washington Redskins. Mahomes provides a different dynamic to the offense that wasn't there under Smith. He has the type of arm strength and deep ball accuracy to outthrow tight coverage and to beat zone coverage deeper down the field. It doesn't take a football genius to see why the folks in KC are excited about number 15 and what he could potentially bring to the table. It's going to be a fun season to watch the young quarterback develop as the year goes on. And one of the major improvements needed on this team lies on the defensive side of the ball. The normally stout and disruptive Kansas City Chiefs defense was anything but that last season. Defensive coordinator Bob Sutton is hoping that a lot of new pieces can help bring the defense back to life. Last year, the Chiefs finished 28th in total defense and a modest 15th in points allowed, and were near the bottom in both rush defense and pass defense. They were able to take the ball away well, but their top playmaker Marcus Peters was traded in the offseason to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the sack numbers are also an area where they like to see that grow. In 2017, the Chiefs got to the quarterback 31 times, which was tied for 24th in the league. That number has to get to at least 55 in order for them to get where they want to be, which is near the top of that list. In order to ensure offensive success and continuity, you need stability up front. And I think the offensive line of Kansas City is one of the strengths on this football team. Now that everyone is healthy, you should see those sack numbers improve a bit this season. Overall, this offense was a top 5 offense, which speaks to the job that they've done up front. Now, when you look at the starting 5, you see a group of guys that are both versatile and athletic, which will make Patrick Mahomes' transition to the starting quarterback job a heck of a lot easier. With a lot of the moves the Chiefs made this offseason, getting better on the back end was definitely a priority. Kansas City traded away Marcus Peters and traded for Kendall Fuller from the Washington Redskins in the Alex Smith deal. They went out and signed players like David Amerson and recently Orlando Scandrick. And like I mentioned earlier, the Chiefs want to continue to build a bully on the defensive side of the ball. Their secondary has to be able to take the ball away. Also, continuing with that same philosophy led them to draft guys like safety Armani Watts out of Texas A&M and cornerback Tremont Smith from Central Arkansas. Both guys are known for their ball skills and instincts, so you can tell that the Chiefs were serious about improving the secondary in preparation for the 2018 season. A reason for optimism for the Kansas City Chiefs is the potential of an explosive offense. Listen, when you look at this team on paper, especially at the skill positions, you can't help but think that they'll easily average 40 points a game on offense. The Chiefs have assembled a collection of game breakers at each position on the perimeter and at quarterback and also at running back. You want to talk about making a young quarterback's transition a lot easier. You give him these weapons, and in doing so, there's no bad option to go with the football if you're Patrick Mahomes. To me, this offense will have a Texas Tech-like feel to it, and I'm excited to see it play out. That's why you can also be optimistic about new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. He's one of the more well-respected coaches in football, and as a former running back, he will stay grounded enough, so to speak, to not allow Kareem Hunt to disappear on game day. I expect to see one of the more well-balanced, explosive offenses in the league under Bieniemy, and I believe he'll be a head coach pretty soon in the NFL. Defensively, punter Dustin Colquitt always gives you optimism because of how great he is at his job. Entering his 14th season in the league, he's still one of the best to do it and will be once again this season. And sticking with the defense, I might be in the minority, but I believe in the Chiefs' front 7 this year. They've added some really good talent at both levels. I think what will be underrated is how good they'll be at inside linebacker with Anthony Hitchens and Reggie Ragland. Rookie Breland Speaks out of Ole Miss and Derek Natty out of Florida State were very underrated selections in the 2018 draft, and we should see the best of D Ford this year as he's healthy and entering his 5th season in the league. Cause for concern would be the backfield depth. They're already experiencing some injuries back there during the preseason with guys like Charkandrick West and Damian Williams. Spencer Ware's returning from an injury last year, so you'd hope that by week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers, they're good to go because of right now, they are still a little thin back there in my opinion. The secondary has to be a bit of a concern for the Chiefs. I mean, this late in the game, they're still signing players to play back there, and I'm talking about guys like Orlando Scandrick. They have a bit of an injury concern at safety as Daniel Sorensen is out for at least 2 months, and Eric Berry right now in the preseason is dealing with a bit of a heel issue. So I think they're deeper there in the secondary than they are at running back, but it would still expedite the development process of some of the younger players on the roster that they may not want to have that happen just yet. So something to keep an eye on as this summer and the season begins to play out. Here are some quick takes as the summer rolls along for the Kansas City Chiefs. Some breakout stars this year will be quarterback Pat Mahomes and safety Leon McQuay III. Mahomes is one of the top quarterbacks to come out last year's draft and has already begun to show why with his play in the preseason. And McQuay III is an underrated combo safety that has good all-around game and will prove his worth in the absence of Daniel Sorensen, in my opinion. Camp surprises are tight end Blake Mack and cornerback Tremont Smith. Both guys I was high on this past April, and I'm not surprised to see them show up and show out this summer. Mack has the ability to be a matchup problem in the passing game, while Smith has been the talk of minicamp and training camp with his play so far in the red and white. Rookie standouts this year, I truly believe as an undrafted free agent, Blake Mack will have an impact on this team as the second tight end, and Breeland Speaks' ability to play multiple roles within this front seven will prove to be a big-time addition to this Chiefs defense. And from a fantasy football perspective, the Chiefs have so many great options to go with, but I would consider Travis Kelce to be the #1 target. His ability to win before, during, and after the catch is what makes this an easy decision for me. The road to the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs goes as follows. The defense has to get back to Chiefs-level defense that we've seen over the last 5 to 6 years, and by that, I mean from a disruptive perspective. They also have to get to the quarterback and take the ball away much more this season. Also, if Pat Mahomes is as good as advertised, their offense could post back-to-back top 5 finishes. Yes, he'll have his growing pains, but the good and positive has to definitely outweigh the bad, which it will, in my opinion. And finally, if the offensive line remains intact for the full season, building on what they did last year as a unit, then Kansas City could find themselves in Atlanta this upcoming winter. I have the Chiefs finishing first in the AFC West. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the NFL and does a great job of reloading without rebuilding. This team will be markedly better on defense and super exciting and productive on offense. Kansas City is a legit Super Bowl contender in my opinion because of what potentially they could bring to the table on both sides of the ball.
So that's it for our 2018 NFL season team preview. Be sure to follow me on all of our social media accounts. Also check out and subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, and to find other NFL team previews for our 2018 NFL season kickoff, visit the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and click that subscribe button.